Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breech coming to you here talking about the Jets and 49ers game coming up on Sunday. There wasn't even a lot of rumor, but it was just a little bit. I think there was just one or two texts exchanged last year when the schedule rolled out. My buddy Danny wanting to come out for this game. There's no way in the world. I've been talking to Danny for a long time. I think Danny and I have been friends. Danny was never a big part of the YWC. He did have a huge DVD collection video that he put up with Eminem in the background. I still remember that to today. But Danny thought about coming out for this game. I know it's been a dream of his for a long time to go to every Jets home game. It just has worked out. The Jets haven't been good the last few years, and he's given up on that dream as it costs a lot of money to go to those games in New York. But he thought about coming out here to go to San Francisco to see Santa Clara and the sights. Now that it's already done and over with and didn't happen, he could have flown in. We could have gone to the Kings game against the Knicks last night. We could have had some fun today in San Francisco and had a pretty good day in Santa Clara. Going to the Niners and Jets game, but we didn't plan for it, so it's not going to happen. So, shitty thing. I've never had the chance to actually physically meet Danny because I didn't go to WrestleMania 29. But honestly, that probably would have been the best thing of the whole weekend. The Kings and Knicks are both terrible. The Knicks did beat the Kings for the second time this season, so they are the better team. But I still don't think the Knicks are any good. But the 49ers against the Jets, 3-9 against 1-11. The Jets are going to be handing over the reins to Petty. He's going to be getting the start. I think this is his second start. I don't think it's his first one, but Fitzpatrick has basically said, you're going to be sitting down on the bench and you're not getting up. So don't plan for that. I know that when they were in preseason, the Jets had a problem that almost every team wants to have. They had 4 quarterbacks on their roster. All 4 of them had promised that they wanted to keep. Of course, everybody knew that with the contract that Fitzpatrick signed, he was going to be the starter, but they had 3 guys that thought they could fill in if needed. They didn't want to cut anyone. I honestly don't even remember which guy got cut. I think that, I was going to call him Quincy Carter. Fuck me, what was his name? Shit, that shitty-ass quarterback. I think he's still with the Jets, but I'm not sure. I think he did get to play, and he got hurt this year. It'll bug me all day until I think of his name. But Petty's going to take the reins. This game scares me because a lot like last week against the Bears, this is a game that honestly I think the Niners can win. The Jets have been terrible. They got a brand new quarterback coming in. The defense hasn't been doing that spectacular this year. Of course, Revis in the Jets uniform, Revis Island isn't quite as strong as it used to be. Doesn't really have the Air Force or the Navy behind it, bringing things down. He isn't really packing the stats up. People aren't scared to go at him. I honestly feel like maybe it comes down to because, cornerbacks, when they get that contract, they've been in the league for a few years, they start to slow down. They're not quite as fast as they once were when they came in out of college. It's almost like once the quarterback signs that first big money deal, they're not as good as they once were. I was hoping that was going to happen for Richard Sherman and the Seahawks, but he's still a guy that I wouldn't throw at, I'll tell you that much. And it helps that Earl Thomas is down if you want to go after the Seahawks. But this game is not going to be good. People thought that last week's game against the Bears was going to be trash. Honestly, there was barely any passing in that game. The Bears did run for 3 touchdowns. The Niners really couldn't get anything going. Colin Kaepernick got benched in that game, but it has come out that Colin Kaepernick is going to get the start this week for the Niners, so against Petty against Kaepernick. Hopefully we can get something going with Carlos Hyde, something going with the offense and Quentin Patton. He looked like he was putting together a few good games in a row. Can't really blame Kaepernick and or Gabbard last week for football in the snow. Not because they're San Francisco, they're a warm weather California team, but nobody was getting anything done in that weather. It was just for smash mouth, run the ball up the middle, see what you can get, running back football. That's what you do in the snow. That's the way it's always been. And maybe you run the ball so much, you fake him out so bad that nobody expects pass. You get one pass in there. But, Steve Young talked about it in that game when he was playing for Tampa, that he went almost the whole game without completing a completion. Didn't want to be the guy to be the record. So he's basically told running back take 2 steps, turn around, I'm going to hit you with the ball just so I make sure I get a pass in, and not be that guy in the record books. But there's not really a whole bunch to talk about. The coach isn't going to be leaving us to go to Oregon. Oregon signed a new coach, which does really surprise me. Why they wouldn't want to have Chip Kelly back, because it seems like one phone call and that would have been one and done, and he would have been signed and probably coaching there this week. He probably just would have walked out. He probably wouldn't even taken his sweatshirt off and left it behind. He probably just would have, see ya, throwing up deuces. Gonna go get paid. Oregon is still a job that I think everybody wants in college football. They win. They've never won the national championship, but they're treated like they have a God-given right to it every year. I don't know. I guess this means we're going to have to see what the Niners want to do with Chip Kelly. Hopefully this is the year that they remove Balky from the GM position. And if a new GM comes in, is he going to want to replace Chip Kelly as coach? Chip Kelly has a name value because of what he did in college. And he did get some wins with the Eagles. And I don't think that was all him inheriting someone else's team. I think he has skills. I think his offense will work. It's just a matter of getting the right people to run that offense. If it's not Kaepernick, we got to figure it out. But get somebody who wants this job, who's going to make some decisions to get some wins. Hopefully, you have somebody lined up. So the minute the horn rings on the last game in Week 17, Balky's out and this guy's in, and then we can see what he wants to do with the coaching prospect and go from there. Because this team's bad, and we need help. As bad as it sounds, we need to lose this football game to see if that's going to make us better, and get something in the draft and spend some money and bring some people into play some positions and win football games, because this team's not going to do it. Go Niners! Don't embarrass us on Sunday against the Jets.